Queen summoned everyone to a private meeting. Everyone attended except Meghan Markle. I don't blame Meghan for not going, because nothing good happens when white people invite you to the countryside. We've all seen Get Out. We know how this shit ends.
Rose, now! Now, the keys! Oh, be careful, bro.
You know I can't give you the keys, right, babe?
And I know some people are disappointed by the name Archie. There's one person who's super excited, the Queen. Yeah, because you know for the last 9 months, she's been like, please don't be Jamal, please don't be Jamal.
Meghan Markle is on the American program Suits.
Yes, Wednesdays, 8 p.m, USA Network. Check it out.
The only difference between that show and this is people watch this one.
Damn! She comes from an unconventional family. Yes, very different family. I was like, yeah, man, she does. Just like Harry.
Generously offered to keep the wax figures of Harry and Meghan safe.
Yeah, that's correct. I would just like to say that I'm definitely not using the wax figures for sex stuff.
What did he say?
I don't know how to break this to you, H. But if you weren't in the royal family, M wouldn't be with you.
I'm so busy and happy. I'm glad we didn't make it, Harry. I don't want to be a duchess and live in a huge house for free.
Meghan Markle and Prince Harry didn't just lose control of the narrative, they became comedy's favorite chew toys. And once comedians start feasting, there's no stopping the feeding frenzy. This wasn't a normal round of late-night teasing. This was a takedown that began with Trevor Noah's scalpel-sharp commentary and snowballed into a full-on global roast. And if you think Noah's critique was tough, just wait until you hear what came next.
Back in the day, it used to be like, if you marry my daughter, I'll give you burgundy. Now it's like, my wife actually does a pretty good Timon. You should hear her. Come on, baby, do the thing. Hakuna Matata, do the thing. It's not like Harry and Meghan need those titles for us to know who they are. No one hears names like Harry and Meghan and they're like, which Harry and Meghan? The ones from Nashville? Is that them?
Noah dug into the uncomfortable truths. The race undertones, the PR contradictions, the absurdity of a prince starting over like he's auditioning for a Netflix series of his own. Noah's humor hit because it wasn't just random mockery, it felt like commentary wrapped in fire. His takes on Harry's unemployment era and Meghan's Hollywood hustle instantly blew up online.
This is what happens when you bring the first black woman into the royal family. She looked at Harry and she's like, nigga, you need to get a job. You a grown-ass man. You can't still be living in your mama's house, Harry. Can you imagine being his boss when he screws up? Like, what do you call him in and say? Prince Harry, get in here, your majesty. You blew the Henderson account, my lord.
And he didn't stop there. Noah's Burger King future riff about Archie left audiences in stitches, turning royal titles into fast food punchlines. Even William's hairline got dragged into the mix, which fans couldn't believe he went for.
Harry and Meghan are losing their titles? That's the most embarrassing royal loss since William's hairline. And I won't lie, if I was Harry and Meghan, I'll be like, fine, then we'll be known as Royale. Meghan and Harry's son Archie, he's gonna grow up and be like, let me get this straight. We used to be in the royal family? Like I could have been a king and now I'm working at Burger King? Is that what you're saying?
By the time Noah was done, the internet had already crowned him the unofficial king of Sussex takedowns. But here's the kicker, Noah's bit wasn't even the harshest part of the story, because once he opened that door, every comedian in America rushed in with bigger, bolder, and sometimes downright savage jokes. And then came Conan O'Brien, ready to make things even weirder. Conan O'Brien saw Meghan and Harry's wax figures removed from Madame Tussauds and said, yeah, I can make this weird. And weird is exactly what he did, launching into a segment so bizarre, fans were both laughing and thinking, did Conan just talk about Harry's supple lips?
Generously offered to keep the wax figures of Harry and Meghan safe.
Yeah, that's correct. I would just like to say that I'm definitely not using the wax figures for sex stuff. They are in a loving home, and I treat them better than the museum ever did. They didn't appreciate Meghan's soft hands or Harry's supple lips.
It was a roast disguised as a love letter to wax statues, which made it all the more ridiculous. Then Saturday Night Live decided to take the gloves off. Their sketches didn't just tease Meghan's acting career, they roasted Suits into oblivion. It became a running gag, like an inside joke that got funnier every time they brought it up.
Meghan Markle is on the American program Suits.
Yes, Wednesdays, 8 p.m, USA Network. Check it out.
The only difference between that show and this is people watch this one. Whenever the kids are being fussy and not going to bed, she puts on an episode of Suits and they're out. So,
what are you doing? Ow! Stop it!
Harry's SNL alter ego? A bumbling, wide-eyed man-child desperate for attention. Meghan's? A walking Hollywood PR campaign that couldn't buy authenticity if it tried.
Buckingham Palace does not comment on political matters. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you and goodbye, said Williams here. Yes.
The sketches got so outrageous that even guest stars like Emma Stone piled on, mocking Harry's romantic past with razor-sharp delivery.
I'm so busy and happy. I'm glad we didn't make it, Harry. I don't want to be a duchess and live in a huge house for free.
But if you thought SNL was done, nope, because the stand-up comics and podcasters were just warming up. Joe Rogan's reaction to Harry was simple. He laughed. When Harry tried calling him out, Rogan flipped the script, spinning it into a self-deprecating story that somehow made Harry look even worse. It was one of those moments where you could feel the audience collectively thinking, why is Harry even picking this fight?
One time, I just woke up, I'm in my underwear, I plop down in front of the TV, I turn it on. The moment I turn it on, Prince Harry's talking shit about me. He's like, Joe Rogan's giving out dangerous misinformation. And my first thought was, did I? I might have.
And then Andrew Schultz came in like a wrecking ball. Schultz didn't just roast Meghan and Harry, he straight up dismissed them. His take? Why do we even care about the royal family? This isn't 1775 anymore.
Prince Harry and Meghan, we don't give a f. We don't care about the royal family.
They got a Netflix
We never
show.
cared about nothing that had to do with y'all. 1775 was the last time we gave a f.
The crowd ate it up because it tapped into exactly how Americans feel. Confused about why these two keep making headlines. Meanwhile, Nikki Glaser added her own twist, painting an alternate reality where Meghan's life looked a lot less royal and a lot more basic. Her humor worked because it was mean but believable. It reminded people how random Meghan's rise to royalty actually was.
If she didn't marry him, she would be on The Bachelor this season. She would be Megan M. from Sherman Oaks barista. She's just that lucky.
By now, American comedians were shredding them from every angle. But across the pond, the UK comics were ready to finish the job. And trust me, the Brits didn't hold back. British humor is colder, sharper, and when it comes to Meghan and Harry, it's downright ruthless. Simon Brodkin didn't just roast their Netflix documentary. He nuked it. His one-liners felt like brutally honest reviews their PR team would rather bury.
Ginger Royal meets fit American actress. She then discovers that everything is so unfair. He then discovers that racism is actually a bad thing. I don't know how to break this stew, H. But if you weren't in the royal family, M wouldn't be with you.
And then came The Prince. This animated show didn't just make fun of Meghan's Hollywood tendencies, it turned her into a caricature of desperation. Fame-hungry, over-polished, and constantly chasing attention.
It's important we do this ourselves, Harry, and not live off your family.
I agree. We'll just have to find a way to make £50 billion on our own.
In one bit, they even imagined Meghan joining the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, a joke that landed because, well, it didn't feel that far-fetched.
Meghan Markle to join the 11th season of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Ugh, so thirsty for any kind of attention.
Harry didn't fare any better. In British comedy, he's not the charming prince anymore. He's the lost puppy, trailing behind Meghan's shadow. And people loved it because it felt true. But none of that compared to what came next. Because Spitting Image turned them into puppets, and it was game over.
I'm here to tell my truth and make a shit ton of money out of podcasting, as I don't have any discernible talent.
Spitting Image took all the criticisms and cranked them up to 11. Harry was no longer a prince, he was a pampered man-child whose butler Perkins literally does everything for him. From waking up early to exercising, Puppet Harry didn't lift a single finger. And the audience? They couldn't get enough.
How do you stay at the top of the middle of your game?
Well, Pads, an early start's important, so my butler Perkins gets up at 5 AM and does a 10K for me. Nutrition is important, so Perkins makes me a bacon sandwich in case Megs has made another one of her rank smoothies.
Wow, Harry, people don't know how tough you got it.
Meghan's puppet wasn't spared either. Her health guru persona got mocked into oblivion with jokes about smoothies that looked and probably tasted like lawn clippings. And when they took aim at the couple's Netflix fortune, the implication was clear. They're no longer royals. They're influencers with better branding.
What about television? Do you have a Netflix account?
Yeah, it's got about $9 million in it.
The puppets had made their point. But Jimmy Carr, he made headlines for going darker than anyone else. And that's where the controversy truly exploded. Jimmy Carr's humor lives on the edge, but this time he jumped off the cliff. His royal succession joke, brutal, so brutal in fact that it caused an immediate backlash online.
If something terrible happened to William and Kate and the kids, right? The Queen and Charles are very old, they're going to go at some stage, and then you're left with King Andrew. No one wants that.
Some said it was hilarious, others said it went way too far. But one thing everyone agreed on, Meghan and Harry had become open targets for any kind of humor, no matter how dark. And the craziest part, even other celebrities like Kelly Osbourne joined in her profanity-laced rant about Harry acting like he's the only one who's ever had problems spread like wildfire. Fans didn't just laugh, they nodded along. The couple themselves, they just kept adding fuel to the fire.
Complaining, I'm the only one that's ever had mental problems. Like, my life was so hard. Everybody's life is hard.
Every time Meghan and Harry tried to rebrand, it backfired. Take Meghan's infamous "It's Meghan Sussex Now" moment. Instead of making her look empowered, it came across as awkwardly desperate. Cue Amy Schumer and a flood of parodies that tore the clip apart.
I don't think anyone in the world knows that Meghan Markle has eaten Jack in the Box and loves it.
It's so funny, too, that you keep saying Meghan Markle. You know I'm Sussex now.
But why don't we have to call Kate Middleton Kate of Wales? Okay, Hilaria, out.
My name is Meghan Sussex now. Call me Meghan Markle one more time, Mindy Kaling.
Then came the fan-made spoofs. TikTok creators and YouTube parodies zeroed in on Meghan's curated perfect life image, turning her luxury cooking segments into absurd sketches about switching snacks between bags and labeling them like they're ancient artifacts.
The best way to have a snack is to take the snack out of one bag, move them into another bag, and then label this new bag.
Even her celebrity bestie narrative got mocked. One parody voiceover summed it up perfectly. Mindy Kaling and I are besties. She doesn't know my name, but still, we're besties.
Mindy and I are such great friends, like besties. Like, I love her. Like, she doesn't know my name, but we're best friends.
By now, Meghan and Harry weren't just being roasted by comedians, they were being roasted by the internet at large. And it wasn't slowing down.
Everyone says they don't have time to make homemade meals, but if you just have 3 nannies, 2 butlers, a housekeeper, a driver, and a full-time personal assistant, you have all the time in the world.
Here's the uncomfortable truth. Comedians didn't create Meghan and Harry's downfall. They just exposed the cracks that were already there. You can't demand privacy while selling intimate documentaries. You can't talk about saving the world while boarding private jets. And you definitely can't play the struggling couple card while living in a $15 million California mansion. Every contradiction became a bullseye. The Oprah interview, more memes than sympathy. The Netflix doc, parody material from day one. Harry's Spare, a punchline gift wrapped for stand-up comics. Now the question is this, can they ever bounce back? Because once the public sees you as a punchline, every serious move you make feels like another joke. The Sussexes wanted to own their narrative. But they don't own it anymore. The comedians do. The internet does. And every single time they try to rewrite their story, it just becomes new material for someone else's punchline. So what's next? Another Netflix deal? Another tell-all? Whatever it is, you can bet there's already a comedian out there sharpening their jokes. Because at this point, Meghan and Harry aren't shaping their legacy, the internet is. And it's not pulling any punches.